Hello guys and welcome back to the awful, damp, freezing cold Tuesday. What's been in this morning? That Fiesta is in for service and MOT. It's pretty simple. I didn't have time to film it on the lift. Just your standard Fiesta. We'll work on loads of them, cracking little cars. Like I said, oil filter, air filter, bit of a check over underneath, and it's away for MOT as we speak. So that's that. So I just thought I would quickly show you that one and a few other jobs that we've got in today. In fact, there's a delivery coming now just as I've started the video. Sorry guys, I just had to get the delivery there. It's been absolutely manic this morning. Just been non-stop since the minute I've walked through the door. So, what's in? My old friend the A6, which Simon has been looking after very well, and I must say I miss it a lot. And in this freezing cold conditions, I miss the heated seats a lot. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, we've got that in. I'm saying we've got it in. Simon's just in to help for the day. So yeah. Old pal, cracking car, probably will end up getting it back at some point. Got this in like I was telling you just last week. DPF problems. This is the bulletproof, same engine as what's in Holly's car. The Isuzu 1.7 CDTI, and they're an absolute gem of an engine. Until emissions reasons, they put a DPF on it. Exactly the same as the 1900 PD, legendary engine, ruined by the DPF. And that's exactly what this is in for. DPF light on, engine management light on, kicking out smoke, all the rest of it. I'm not going to get too involved with it. I'm going to maybe give it a quick drive later on, see if I can force a regen on it on the road. I will not have it running like in the yard, because it doesn't know any history of the timing belt. I don't want the turbo to blow up or anything like that. So I may just take it out on the road to see if I can get it to do a regen. But I'll come to this when I start on it. Absolutely freezing today, guys. The first time my hands have been properly numb. As you can see, the doors are shut because there's something a little bit different inside, which I'm doing Langoguard on. So let's go in and find out. The heater's on, so I'm going to have to switch the heater off first, and I'll get back to you. Right, I've just switched off the old space heater. We've obviously had to give in to temptation. I've tried as long as we can this year not to have heating on, but it's come to the time this morning. The old space heater's on. Absolutely great, these things. Stink of diesel and that, like when they run on paraffin. But godsend, absolutely need them when you're working inside. But what have I actually got on the lift? Something special, something different. In fact, I'm going to grab a light. So you may have just seen in the background when I've come under the car there. What it is, you can see in the background. I'll just swing it round. It's been on the channel before. It's a Toyota Alphard. Freshly imported. Well, not long ago actually. It's a 58 plate. And when you see underneath of this thing, I swear to God, you'd think it was a 1-year-old vehicle. And I'll show you it later on when it's off lift. We all know this car's my pal's car. I'll not say any names in case he doesn't want his name on the channel. But this thing inside is nice enough to live in there, I swear to God. The interior of this is beautiful. But what's even better, obviously, he's changed the rims, lowered it. It's got a stainless exhaust on it, which I think looks really nice. Again, done by James at Tints and Tweaks. Lowered suspension, but on adjustables. But when you have a look under here, it is like brand new. Remember, this is a 58 plate vehicle. Just no salt has been on it until obviously now. But he's kept it off the road. And he wants me to do a Languard treatment. I have told him, obviously, there's already stuff underneath of here. But I'm pretty sure underneath of this stuff is really solid, like new metal. But it'll certainly benefit from having a coat of Languard. Like up there, if you look, that's all bare metal. So we'll get that covered. Obviously, he'll be watching this. Also, these arms, even down to stupid things, you know, this stuff, say, this front subframe area, none of that's got any protection on. All this front cross member, that's all bare metal. And again, we'll do along here. All up there's bare metal. And around there, the back of the subframe, all that will be getting covered by the Languard. So yeah, we'll get cracking. All this is bare metal. And all this up here where it's been missed. So yeah, and all the axle obviously. And round the back end. And all this up here, you see, that's all just bare metal, which hasn't been covered. So yeah, we'll get all that done. I'll even coat a little bit on these for him, because you can put it on them. But yeah, it's not your average vehicle, is it? Absolutely lovely. How nice would it be to have a 2008 vehicle in the UK and it still looks like this many years on. Unfortunately, I don't think that will ever happen, will it, in the UK, because they just spread salt on the roads for fun sometimes, and then when you do need it, there's never been a gritter out and the place is in gridlock and shut down. I don't understand that. So yeah, that's that. I'm going to keep it relatively short. I've got to be in and out the garage a few times this week. I've got my uncle come to have a look at my loft. I'm getting it boarded out. Just getting some absolute bargains on some like batten lights like these, but the new LED types. A guy who's acquired them on a job he's done. So I'm getting 5 of them for the price of 2. So I'm going to collect them tomorrow night and return my other 2 to Screwfix on my way back once I know I've got the new lamp. So then I'm trying to get some favours in from one of my customers, Kev, who's an electrician, to fit them. In from my uncle, hopefully to finish the pull-down loft hatch and board out the other half of my loft, which I may do on a car at a garage home DIY bit of a video like I normally do, just to show you what I've been up to at home. So yeah, we'll leave that there. I'm going to get on with the Lango guard. It's down there on the floor. Been getting a bit of heat into it, and we'll start applying it, hopefully in the nice heat in here. And that'll be left to set overnight, and then we'll get looking on at the Astra. And I think there's a few other things being dropped off. There's a few jobs I want to get on with on the Altea. I've had this delivered. It's the new like rubber that goes around the bottom of the windscreen, and the one that's on is all crushed. I don't know if you can see that through the bag, but this is nice and squidgy, as it should be, where when the bonnet's been shut majority of the time, which it is, it's gone like flat. And like I mentioned, there's still a tiny little bit of an exhaust leak on it coming from somewhere, so therefore I'm just going to kind of, I know you should fix the fault, but I think what it is the EGR cooler started leaking years ago. Somebody's looped the cooling system out of it, and I still think there's a little bit of gas coming out of it where it's possibly cracked, letting out exhaust gas. So I limit what I'm going to spend on that car. So really, I've put the little strip of stuff on the bonnet, and I'm going to put a new seal on, and after that I'm just going to have to live with it, because I think it's like full on like turbo off or God knows what to get to this EGR cooler to even just remove it or blank it. Something I'll have a look at when I've got the under tray off, when I'm doing the gear oil. Maybe be able to get a blank and plate of some kind and blank it off on the manifold, but I don't know. That's stuff to come when I've got the car on the lift. So I'll catch you soon, leaving it there, getting on with the land garden. There's nothing I can record because it just gets all over the place, but I will show you a before and an after. Well, you've seen the before, and I'll show you the after results. Well, guys, I just want to show you what I've done. Lango garden, you've seen many of them before, but this one especially looks good with the car being a fresh import. Bearing in mind the black stuff was already on there, but I don't know how the camera picks up on that, but that really does look spot on. Clearly I haven't done the rubber on the tyre there, in case you ever does need to use it. But that's gone on absolutely great. The tank on this is metal, so obviously I've coated that. I haven't bothered with the exhaust on this one fully, because it's a petrol and the exhaust get really hot, it would just burn off. It's alright on some diesels without DPFs. But yeah, just being around all the sills, subframes, and the little bits of white you see, no, that's not where I've missed, that's where the person who put the black stuff on, like the undershulls or whatever it was, has missed. So it's nothing I've missed. I'm getting in all them box sections, all the front subframe, arms, up into the turrets, right up into the suspension areas. So yeah, even up into there. I've pulled some of the little trays down, getting it into them. Obviously you can see it's just dripping off on the floor, some of it. But yeah, I think it is agree, that looks pretty good. As they come to say it's a 2008 vehicle, but I will do another quick film of this one when I've got it off the lift. But I'll just spin the camera around. Anybody is interested in getting the Lango guard, let us know. It's getting a bit late in the year now, but today it's been minus conditions, as you can see. The condensation, it still works. So I had to do a test. I've never used it before in maybe touching freezing conditions, and it works fine. Clearly I've got the doors down, I've had the heating on, but the wax oil, once it reaches below 10 degrees, it's impossible to use. This stuff, thumbs up, it's worked absolutely fantastic in cold conditions. So I theoretically can use it all year round. So I'll catch you soon. I'm going to get the Astra in and get this one out. We'll do a bit of an update what's going on with that one. Right, that's the land garden done. I just wanted to show you this beautiful Toyota on the inside before it gets too dark. One thing which I will add is the Astra. Done a code scan on that. It's absolutely horrendous out here today. Code scan on it, and the DPF is that blocked it won't even do a regen, so I'm just having to... Sorry guys, that was actually the lad picking up that Astra. I've told him to go out and do himself a regen, because like I've said, with the traffic at the minute, I would have to charge him 50 quid for an hour, over an hour's worth of prattling about, basically, driving up and down the A1, using me diagnostic software. He doesn't want to spend the money. He knows it's going to be problems. Really, the only way with that Astra, I think, is get the DPF deleted out, but you're talking 300 quid in diagnostic fees to do that, not by me, and then you're on to the flipping gutting the DPF out. It's big money for a car that's not worth a lot of money. Anyways, on to the Alphard, which I was trying to show there. Lister's gone. It's awful out here, really is awful, but this thing is absolutely beautiful. I'm just going to make sure I open the right door on it. I'll just unlock it. Lovely key. Unlock. It is absolutely great. You've already seen this on the channel, but I know a lot of you are quite new to the channel. But look at that. You can live in that thing. Look at that mood lighting up there. Beautiful. Double sunroof. If you look, there's a big one there at the back, and a little one at the front. I do like 2 separate units. Air conditioning, heating, and there's another 2 rows of seats back there as well. Oh, it's just such a nice place to be in here. It really is. Really, really is. Just close that door. Automatic doors. You've seen underneath, it's like a new car. And into here, it's got all, my dad's brand new RAV4 2022 edition. It's got those switches. You would not think this was a 2008 car. Lovely. Really, really nice. I will say. I don't know if he's upgraded those or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if them LED lights are original. Obviously, there's push start button. There's buttons for everything, everywhere. And I just love that. I love a good few buttons to mess around with in a car. Yeah, great. And obviously, he's had his own diagnostic OBD plug-in speedo because he did not want the dials tampered with. You see, Stephen's Chinese, so he can understand all this kind of stuff. Like all that writing on there when it comes to the import. He can read through all the history and know whether or not the salesman or whoever, the importers, are talking truth to you or talking shit. And he must know a lot of them where the speedos get changed around and corrupt the mileage. So he said, just leave it all standard, don't pull it out. See, I think he said something like they changed the circuit boards for cheap chips inside of them when they changed them over or something. I don't know, but he said leave that be. I just want the OBD thing fitted, which I think he did himself. I got somebody to do. So yeah, got to be in the know with them things. But that is one nice car. I'm coming inside, guys, because I'm absolutely freezing. It is awful out there. It's not just so much the cold. It's with that like misty fog. It's the damp. Oh, it's awful. I can't wait to get home tonight. I'm being honest. In fact, I bought me Altea in and I can't even be bothered to do it. But I'm going to do a few things. What I've got to do to it is, like I mentioned, there is a bit of a fumes still coming from down the back there. You can't get enough and not see anything. So I've got the new rubber, but as you can see, the old rubber is really flat. I'll show you when I remove it. It's just got no give. But when you look at this nice new one, it's lovely and spongy like it should be. So we're going to replace that. I've already done my own little DIY version of it. And I have just spotted a little area down behind that where I assume it's a separate area, but I'm going to use a little bit of ducting tape and just block that bit off there, because I'm not sure if that's where a lot of the fumes is getting into, rather than coming up and over. Yes, I know, guys, you'll be saying fix the fault because that's not there's an issue there. I know there's an issue, but there's a degree of what I want to spend on this car. Remember, it's just me winter hack. It's just something to get us through. It's something to hide the dogs in. It's something to hide the kids in. It's not going to be the prized possession kind of thing. It's just a daily, and that's all it's going to be. So I'm already spending too much on it, what I'm spending. So into the back of the car to show you what I've got. 2 drop links. That's going to wait this week. I can't be arsed. I'm just being honest. Not got the time, and Simon's coming in tomorrow to help, and I'm going to help him do a few jobs to the A6. So there's those. I'm going to have to go on the other side, actually. Drop links, like I said, that'll come another day. If this excuses. Right, I should have gotten all this out anyway. The DPF cleaner, the professional stuff, I'm going to bang that in at some point. I've got an oil filter. I'm not going to do an oil change yet. In fact, that can go down there with those. I've got a pollen filter, because obviously with that smell coming into the carb, we'll do that. That's just a nice, quick and easy job. DPF thing put in. Laptop for VCDS, because I've got my new mass airflow meter. I wasn't too happy with this, by the way. I got it. And it is a brand new reconditioned unit. I'll take it over there and I'll show you. And the company claims, but that's the toe bar I've just whacked my leg on. The company claims that it was a brand new unit, Bosch unit, which I don't believe. It's reconditioned. This is a unit here that I got. Clearly, straight away, it's got security, no returns if removed. But the only reason it's on is it's covering up the date. And it's got the original VW number on, which it wouldn't if it was Bosch. But what I have done, I have looked inside, and you can just about see the writing down there. I don't know if you can. You probably can't. But it is, what they've obviously done is changed that element. But I've looked in, and it is a genuine Bosch one. But I wasn't happy, because I don't like being lied to. And they were like, oh, it was something wrong in the box. I'm like, stop talking crap. Just tell the truth. You've sold it as a brand new unit in the Bosch bag box, which I asked a message on the payment thing when I made the payment, just to confirm this is a brand new Bosch unit in a sealed bag or box. They didn't reply to that. But anyways, it was only 60 quid, over £120 for my suppliers, and he agreed to give us a £10 partial refund, so it's cost us 50 quid. So hey ho, it's going to get put in. Because like I've mentioned, the one on the car, again with it getting dark, I'm not sure if you can see. Let's have a look. Down there, probably can't see it, but it's the original 09 one. I'll just get the light. Don't know if you can see down there. It says 09, 2009, 05, 12. Now, if you notice, that's conveniently where the sticker, if you just notice the VW Audi Germany bit, and if you just notice, that's conveniently where the sticker is, which for no reason's on there, because it's not covering up like a sensor or anything, where they've got theirs covering the date. But anyways, it is a genuine Bosch one. In fact, since I've got that light, I'll see if I can show you. I think it's going to be all okay, especially for that money. Definitely not fake. I just think what they're doing is reconditioning the bodies. There's nothing wrong with the bodies. If you look in there, see down there, Bosch, and it does look brand spank, as in fairness. So, I'm just saying, this is 2009, it's done 170,000 mile. Going to bang a new one on. Check the VCDS if it needs relearned. I'm not sure if it will or not, but I'll see if there's any options for that. Do that. Put the new seal on the windscreen. I'm going to cover up with duct tape, some kind of duct tape, not duct tape, duct tape. DPF cleaner down the spout, because tomorrow night, like I've mentioned, I'm getting work done on my loft. I'm going to get those, what you would call it, those 5 new LED light units. So I want this thing up and running for tomorrow. And also I've got some new gear oil coming for it, the proper 75W, not 7580 or 7590. I've got it here, I'll show you, which is here. That's what I had left from a different car I had with the same stuff. Cinto fluid, Fox, this is exactly what they use in the dealers. £23 for 2 litres of it, plus what I've got left here in this one, which will do the job. I've also got one bung. I'm going to replace that for the bottom one, the drainer, put the new one on, and the filler one, I'm just going to reuse the other one. £5 for that, rip off. Hence I didn't get 2. And what I am going to price up is the engine cover little grommets, because it's all starting to come loose, and I don't want to rub through any pipes, but I still want it to be there for little bits of moisture that get through. But so I believe they're nearly £10 each, and they can shove that where the sun don't shine. So we shall see. Bit of a development with the scanner. Getting the new one back, all working. This is it here. And I've just went on, the new one I've getting's froze a few times. I've actually put this up for sale, so if you're watching the channel, you'll be wondering what on earth's going on, Dan. It froze a few times, and I wasn't overly pleased for it. It was like nearly £1,000. But I just went onto to the options. That's $150 a year to have the updates. This thing was £600. My dad was like, what? So we looked on Amazon Prime, and we can still return it. It's within the time. And in fairness, it has froze a few times. Legitimately, I'm telling the truth there, which I wasn't happy about because that one never used to freeze. So I think we've come to the decision. Unfortunately, fortunately, it's going to get returned free of charge back to Amazon. Get our money back. It's cost me nearly £260 to have the new screen put on that, so we're still out of pocket. But it's just not worth that update fee. And to be honest, I've used it over this one, and it's not a great deal different, guys. It is different. It is better in some ways, but I think they've made a balls up on this MK one because it's got the top quality update on it by mistake, I think. Sorry, that was just a guy dropping a car for tomorrow. But I can't remember where I was. But yeah, but that's kind of where I'm at. Sorry if I've lost track there, but there's just that much going on. So yeah, the scanner, yeah. So it can go back for free. I think we're going to take the option. I've got people biting my arm off to buy this. I advertised it at $375, and that's people biting my hand off to get it. And I'm saying to my dad, I think we'll just take the hit and send the new one back. It generally has froze, and we're most certainly not going to be paying £600 a year for the updates when this one for £150 does everything. It recodes stuff, it does everything. And I think they've made a bit of a balls up, I think, on the update, because as of this year's update, this one we've got here is doing everything the Pro versions do. And I said to me, Dad, I can't, it's doing this now, it's doing that now, which was why we were absolutely gutted when the screen got smashed, because we've been over the moon with it, and it never freezes like the other one. So unfortunately, probably the night when I get in, I'll remove the advert off and we're looking for a box to send the other one back, because Amazon's like no quibble. We haven't really used it. It's not dirty or anything like that. So anyways, less yak on. I'm going to get on and do a few jobs to this Altea while I've got some peace. Thanks for watching, guys. I might update you when I've done a few bits on this, but you don't need to watch us. Again, do you really want to watch us pulling a piece of rubber off and putting it on? Things like that, like this mass airflow meter, one plug off, you take your air box off, two little torques at the back off, pliers, take the spring clip off the clip, remove it, put the new one on. That's it. If there's any more on there, I will show you, how, like for programming and stuff. The DPF, I'll show you putting the stuff through there, and so on and so on. So I will show you the important stuff. It's just been really busy today. I've had Simon here. Oh, there's loads of people have been in, and it'll be probably the same tomorrow. Some weeks I can do a lot of stuff, guys. Other weeks I can't. And with this daylight, it's never even been light today. It's been cold. So you have to bear with. It's a bit like everybody at the minute. I've been watching their YouTube channels at this time of year. It just gets a bit awkward and miserable and, you know, the rest of it. So I'm sorry if I'm not myself. It's not that. It's just hard work when it's like this, when my fingers are freezing cold all day. I just want to get the jobs done and get home, because it ain't fun being stuck in here. And this is the first cold snap we've had of the year, so I haven't got my thermals on. It does take a bit of a toll on you, so I apologise. I'll catch you probably on tomorrow's vlog. Hello guys, and welcome back to Wednesday's vlog. I've just tried to think what my last video was, of the Altea. I'll quickly show you what I've done to that. I don't even remember if I did an update last night. It was getting that late and that cold. I was ready for home, to be quite honest. Just a quick recap of what's in today. What isn't here now is that little Clio. I missed last night. It was too dark to film it on the lift. But you know what it is? Like, you seen it with that dodgy tyre last week and it looked a right wreck. Do you know what it is underneath that little car? If you go back on my videos to about 6-7 months ago, I acquired that car for that guy, and I tell you what, he doesn't care for it, as in like looks after it. It's a little corker. It really is. I love the pre-facelift Clios. They're nice to start with. No rust next to it, no rust underneath. Original stainless steel exhaust, and bar the high-level stop lamp what we've been messing around with, it's not too bad. Straight through an MOT. Obviously that tyre that was knackered, we've switched that over for him on the day. I didn't show that on the video, but we did. We swapped it over even against his wishes. So that's that. So what we've got in now, Simon on with the Audi doing. Well, I mentioned when it was mine. He's taken this door card off because of the switches. The passenger's one didn't work on the up position, so it was really annoying. If you put it down, you had to reach across, and it's quite a wide car to put it back up. And the driver's one was just didn't feel right at all. It was a bit dodgy. Got this Mercedes A180. Just basically a Renault engine at the end of it. I've already been through this with you. You might get sick of it saying, but there's your Mercedes engine cover. There's your Renault K9K 1500 diesel. Do you know what it is? I ain't going to slate this engine because it's actually in the top 5 of good diesel engines with the old, like I've said, with the 1900 PD, 1700 Isuzu. This 1500 Renault engine is a really good engine. So I'm not going to knock it, but Mercedes, of all people, do not need to be using Renault engines. But like I was telling you, I find it really sad that Mercedes have gone to the extra mile of making sure they have removed the Renault logo and Nissan, remember, it's like the joint company, from absolutely everything. Now, I think that is bordering the line of being sly and misleading to people. Now, if they were just honest enough, like what the Nissan are, where you look at that battery and it's got Renault Nissan written on, or you pull a cover off and it straight away shows you, like whatever badge whoever's using the engine. But Mercedes have obviously said to Renault, when they took these engines, to make sure that there's no Renault markings anywhere, which is what they've done. And I find that really sly. Just like we found on that Volvo the other day with the Citroen Peugeot engine in, they had done the same as well. So yeah, not a bad engine by any means. Just on doing an oil change on it. The filter tells the story itself. I've chucked the box in the bin, but that says Renault and everything. But any of you guys out there, you'll know that's a K9K in the Nissan Qashqais, Renault Clios, etc, etc. So yeah, just oil and filter. Set of front pads, I've noticed they were getting a bit low. I'll just quickly put the light through and show you. I've got them on order. Just whip the front wheels off and do them. You can just see down there. They're not really low, but they were advised last year. It's an automatic and it's an old fella's car, and now his granddaughter and husband are going to start using it for him, which I think is a good idea because it had an injector go off. It's got very low miles. So them front pads said just if they're getting low, do them. So oil and filter change, MOT, front pads, and that's it. But it's a very low mileage car. I don't want to actually touch anything inside because I'll see if I can. No. It's only got 20,000 miles. So I haven't got no oil in, so I don't like touching any buttons on these stop-start things. They're just not worth it. But yeah, 20,000 miles, and it needed an injector. Just not good, doesn't it? Not look. What's that? How old will it be? 7-year-old car, just clicked 20,000 miles, needing injectors. It's not ideal, and that's what you get when you're mixing Renault with Mercedes, because the Renaults don't seem to have much issue with them. The issue you see here, is it's a Mercedes car with a Renault engine, but all the fuel filter and intake system is Mercedes. The computers that run it is Mercedes. The gearbox that's in it, I believe, don't quote us on that one, is Mercedes because it's an automatic. So what you tend to find is when Mercedes software is running a Renault engine, you get a lot of problems. Like, for example, when Ford and Volvo were in partnership with Citroen and Peugeot, and you got your Volvos, which were a Ford Focus, which were a Citroen Peugeot engine, the Volvos used to get loads of bother because basically you had a Ford, which was running Volvo software, and then the Volvo software was also having to run the Citroen Peugeot engine that Ford put in that car. So you had like three manufacturers all in one car on a very picky computer system, what Volvo have. So yeah, this has gone on for years. It's not just to these, but that's what I find when you have different engines in engines that shouldn't be in particular cars. It's the software that causes them to knack up. They overrun the injectors and everything. So there's a bit of advice. The Altea, like I've already said to you, a few jobs I'm doing to this, which I did last night. I can't remember if I showed this or not. I really can't remember. But there's the new seal around the windscreen. I've just put a few little bits of the tape, which I told you about, and down there, just in case that's the cause of any of this fumes getting into the cabin. It's not horrendous, guys, but it's annoying. But I know exactly what it is, and it's too much to get involved with. So yeah, so there's my new pressure converter. There's my brand new Bosch MAF sensor, and there is my brand new Bosch DPF pressure sensor, which I'm going to put the cleaner down that later before I go across to Seaton Delville to pick up the lights for my loft. What I did do on VCDS was relearn that N75 valve. I didn't have time to check if there was one for the MAF sensor. I don't know if there is or not, but that'll be all good to go. Oh, and the pollen filter, I can't remember if I showed you that. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself here, but if I haven't, I just want to show you just how much shit must be in the air. That's only been in 8 months, that pollen filter. And like I said, I changed the one for the original. I put a carbon one in this time, but that was pure white like that. It just shows you how much. And Simon hasn't done that many miles in it. So yeah, it is quite important to change them things regular, just for your own health, basically. Yeah, what I'm going to do with that, DPF cleaner. What was the other thing I'm going to do? Relearn the math, if there's an option on VCDS for it. What else was that? I've got the gearbox oil and sump plug. That's not getting done today anyways. The drop links, that's not getting done. I've got an oil filter. That'll not be getting done for another few months, maybe into the new year. Oh, there is something. Yeah, this. The engine cover, which is obviously missing. All these little grommets, bar one of them, are knackered. And I thought, yeah, they'll make you have to buy the whole flipping engine cover. Because I don't like it, because it's been rattling about. You can see actually where it's been rubbing on pipes. And I rang up, TPS, it's like basically Volkswagen, Audi, Skoda, Seat, and they're a £5 each. I looked on eBay, they were 30 quid for 4, so I'm getting 4 of them for 20 quid. I know that's shock horror, a lot of money for 4 little rubber bungs, but you can't get them anywhere else, and them engine covers, I priced them up over £150. £150. So yeah, it is cost effective just to spend the 20 quid and put the new bungs on, just so it's not rattling about on top of the engine. Oh, there was something else I did last night, totally forgot to say about that one, was fix the intake. If you remember what I did with that Audi A3 last week, this is the same. Occasionally under revs, it would give a little bit of a rattle, and it's these stupid things here. I've took the lid off, and you can't see nothing inside of there. I've actually tied it all up. Down there, I've put a screw. You might just... Actually, you can't even see the screw. I don't think you can anyway. Because the bottom piece wasn't going into the box. The top piece was rattling about. So I've tied all that up as well. Obviously, wax oiled all the points where they've come off. Cleaned all the airbox out while I was in there. Yeah, so I did a few bits and bobs yesterday just while I was on. Just while I had time, basically, and the doors were down. So we'll leave that one there. I'll get back to you when I've got the Mercedes sorted. I'll quickly show you around the Clio when it's back. Just going to try and keep it short today, because I put quite a bit of content in yesterday. I may show you the pads. I'll probably show you the pads on this Merc, compare them to the new ones, just so you can see why we're changing them. Just a quick update. I just thought I'd show you this, about brake pad wear sensors and really how pointless they are. These Mercedes have, like a lot of cars, have one, which is down here. I've actually reused the original. So out of 4 pads, you only have one, basically, which just goes to show, typically, the one pad that did have the sensor on wasn't too bad, but that one, which was joint on the same disc, was almost down. So it makes you wonder, either put all of them on or none. But the worst still though, I mean, the new ones I'll show you are still like double the thickness of that one, which is the best one. So yeah, they're not very expensive them, but there's no point in changing them if you don't need to. Can be reused. So as you can see, they're the new ones. Plenty of meat on them. And that's the little sensor that goes in. Of course, whenever I want the light, I haven't got it. It's on here. Just thought I'd show you it. So there you see. There's a sensor into it. So yeah, don't always rely on a light coming on the dash. You should really have your brakes checked or try and look through the wheel yourself, which you can on most cars, see them. So that's that. Greased up around the hubs because the wheels got jammed on quite tight on this. So yeah, that's that. I just wanted to show you the A6 as well. Simon sorted out the switches on it. That's finished now. He's been on with this. So when I had it, the switches were knackered on it, so he's replaced them with nice new ones. So now the passenger's one goes up and down and the driver's one's not knacked. So he's done a good job there. And he's just on at the other side replacing the switch, which is worn on the passenger. So we've had to close the doors because it's freezing again. But there you go, he's got all this off and he's replacing that one that's worn out, and he'll have a new one somewhere in there. I'm just going to quickly show you outside the little Clio. Let's get the keys. Before I actually go out there, I just want to show you the oil. There you go, genuine Mercedes Renault oil. There you go, you see. Proper C4 you've got to use in these Renault engines. Just another thing. I've chucked the oil filter thing in the box, but I'm pretty sure you all believe it's the K9K. Exactly the same as what's in the Scenic outside. Or a Qashqai, or a Duke, or anything. Same engine as what's in that. Just wanted to show you this little beauty. I know when I come in last week, you all looked at it and thought, oh, what an old wreck, an old banger and stuff because of the tyre issue. No, it's the owner is a bit difficult, so to speak. But I sourced him this car. There's actually a video on my channel about it, and it is absolutely immaculate underneath this car. It's like new. Lovely pre-facelift Clio. Do you know what it is? I would have loved to have had this on my fleet, to be quite honest. No rust whatsoever on the arches where they normally go. Absolutely perfect little car. Had been garaged from new by this lady's father, who I bought it off. And you know what it is? I just love these pre-facelift ones. I think they're just, I don't know, a lot better than the ones I followed. And to be honest, probably even better than the ones before it, because they're a lot more developed. I mean, he's really not looked after this. It wasn't like this when we bought it, but I even love the retro kind of styling on them. Actually has electric windows as well, nice spec one. So it's a nice car, generally 70,000 mile. Really good little car. In fact, for this week's Love or Hate, I'm going to put it on. So if you are part of my Facebook page, join in, have a look, have a comment on it. But I'm going to park it over the road there and do a Love or Hate on it. Anyways, that's pretty much it for today, guys. Like I said, the Altea, I'm going to do a few things on the laptop, a few other bits and bobs, that DPF cleaner. You've seen us do it the other day with the other stuff. It's the same thing applies. That Merc's out. Need to reset the service light on it with the computer. Give Simon a hand, and that's it. Hopefully get away a little bit earlier the day so I can pick these lights up and take the other ones back to Screwfix. And I will do a bit of filming, maybe, next week when I'm getting underway with the house. I know it's not part of the garage weekly vlog, but I suppose a couple of minutes here and there at the house when it's getting done might be interesting. If you're not interested, just say you don't care, but just thought I would add it in there. Catch you soon, guys. Hello, guys, and welcome back to Thursday morning. I'm a bit late in this morning, it's just past 10 o'clock there. Woke up nicely to a smashed window in the bathroom. It was fine last night at 11 o'clock when I had a shower. It must have just been the temperature changes, so yeah, that's another thing on the list. But this one's a bit more urgent. I'm going to have to try and get up on the roof, the little lean-to try and secure the bits of broken glass on the outside in case they fall down and obviously hit somebody on the driveway. So anyways, that's that. We've got this little Peugeot, I miss what these are now, 108s in. It's just nicely had the front discs and pads done. There we go, Padgett, front discs and pads. Obviously everything back soiled up, greased up properly. We've been on the subframe with a grease because it's a weak point on these. If you own these, front subframes are a big weak point for rotting. These front arms go on these bushes, but they're not so much a big deal. Awkward little struts on these. The old kind of Ford idea and whatnot, and VW idea. So it just makes it totally awkward to change springs. They're not too hard work because they're not heavy duty vehicles, but I hate this idea of a strut where they go through as a shaft rather than just two nuts and bolts and they come off nicely. It's an idiotic idea. That never like that on any car. Obviously in for service as well. Nice new oil filter there. There's an air filter to go in case you ask the question of why Crossland, Dan, you always use original stuff. Well, there's a story behind this. Is the Toyotas, which this is, by the way, remember, it is a Toyota Aygo. When I take the filter out, you can see the edges are crushable, and these are exactly how the Toyota ones come, like that, with a fabric edge in the crush down. If you get a MAN or a Bosch one, what they do is they come as hard plastic and they don't crush. So what you find is you have a nightmare getting the springs to clip closed on the airbox. So that's that. So this is in for service and MD. Checked it over, it's okay. It's had all the wax oiling done on the bits it needs to be done. We're just going to finish off around the back. And this one's actually in relatively good nick. And there the other places at the rot as well on there. So yeah, that's all this one's really needing. MOT, service. Yeah, that's a 107. I know they changed the 108. Little hybrid Yaris in here for rear discs and pads, service and MOT. And that's the Mercedes over there to go back, Simon's car. So I'll catch you soon, guys, once we get this one back on the floor, get the Yaris up, and I'll show you a bit on that. But with these hybrids, you've got to be careful with the brakes. They're not electronic arm brakes, but just be careful what you're doing when you're working with anything along the lines of hybrids. They're just not to be messed with. As you can see, it's running here, it'll stop, then it'll restart. They are very complex to what you actually realise. Hence, there we go, it's just stopped. But yeah, it's a nice one this. I went with this guy to buy this one. Full glass roof in it. What do you call it? The T-Spec or T-Spirit or something? XL, that's what they call them, XL. So you get all the... This is quite a late one. Early one, 66. Started putting the LEDs on and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a nice spec, this one. All the LEDs on the back, the tinted windows, the glass roof. Nice spec. I'll show you it later on. Got to get these sorted. I'll show you the brakes and that when we've got the wheels off.